Never again.
We should do this more often.
No, we shouldn't. Ow. Dude, those are in my ear.
My bad.
Alright guys, we are finally back, Andre and I. It's mostly be me and my dad life just being so busy. Andre's been free, right? But today we are actually going to be reviewing my car. It's the Subaru 2021 STI. Now, they don't make this car anymore. Or I should say, they don't make the EJ engine anymore. That's gone. And for the 2020 or 2022 year, they didn't make it. So they're waiting for the refresh. And if we are going to talk with refresh, yeah.
That's a funny word.
We did talk about the WRX, the new one, the 2022. Gotta get that right.
2022 WRX, yeah.
And oh, it's really ugly.
It's a Civic.
I don't like it. This design looks way better. And then we're gonna start off by the looks of this. So a couple things I want to point out is that the rims, they're 19-inch rims. I think they look fantastic. Seeing it in pictures or seeing on Google, like, it doesn't do justice. When you see it in person, it really shines. Like, they're really nice rims. They're big. They really pop. And behind the rims, you have the big Brembo brakes, which are like this greenish, yellowish, cool.
Lime
really
green.
Pops out.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of people tell me that a lot of people look at them like it's eye catching. It pops out a lot, right? And I want to briefly touch on the spoiler. I actually never wanted a spoiler, but if you want to go without the spoiler, like just the lip deck in the back, you have to get the Sport Tech model, which was another like 5,000 Canadian. I just didn't find it was worth it. So I opted to get the middle trim, the Sport. And having that big spoiler there, I got used to it. I think it's really cool. Brings a kid inside of me. And it does stand out quite a bit. So just be warned, it really does stick out a lot. But overall, I think it's a really, really nice design. I think this car has definitely matured over the years since going back to like early 2000s. It looks, like fatter. It looks a little more
American,
a little more Americanized.
Yeah, it's more Americanized,
right? and it kind of goes with like, I'm a bit older now too. It kind of, we jive together. It fits my lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about the looks overall?
Comparing this to what the refresh that they've come out with, this is way better in terms of a design, and also this still looks like a rally car.
Yes.
Whereas the other thing, it's gonna be a hard sell.
I know. And that's been out
but yeah, it's
that
Subaru's death, if you ask me. But
WRX has been, that new model, it's been shown for some time. People say you'll get used to it. I can't get used to it.
No, I can't get used to it either.
I think this might be the peak design of Subaru.
I think this design is going to hold up longer than the new one.
I agree. Oh yeah,
definitely, hands down. I think so. I think this will be the model to get versus what they're coming out with next. But that's just my opinion.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about the inside of this car. And I'm going a bit of a rant here. So this is Subaru's, like, show car. This is their top trim car, right? The top car, right? The one that brings people. People talk about this car a lot, brings people to the dealerships, right? Just to like, whoa, cool, STI. And oh god, the speakers are complete trash. Complete trash.
Oh god.
I don't know who designed it, who said it's okay, or spend another $10 to get better speaker. It's complete garbage. So I have changed out the speakers. I've changed out the head unit. The head unit is complete garbage. I mean, using the usability of the head unit, what I mean by that is like hitting the buttons, scrolling. It's actually very fast, and it's very responsive.
It's usable.
It's very usable, big icons, but the output, the signal that goes to the speaker is complete crap. I mean, the first thing I did with this car, at 500 kilometers, I changed out all the speakers only, and yes, it made a big improvement, but the problem is signal is so crappy that it's amplifying certain things. So for example, the stock head unit is amplifying the tweeter, the treble, right? So you're getting this super harsh high pitch, no mid-range, and some like overly too much bass. And yes, there's only so much you can adjust on that EQ. But after I changed the head unit, then everything got balanced and sounds so much better. So that's my rant on this. For such an expensive car, it has to have better speakers. That's
And then,
what more can I say?
And then you go down the rabbit hole, because once you change the speakers, the head unit, it isn't adapted or isn't made to be able to adapt to new speakers. So then you have to switch out the head unit, which is what you found out.
Yes, you still have to switch out the head
So
unit.
pro tip, guys, if you're gonna buy new speakers, just make sure you have enough money to buy another head unit, a decent one as well at that.
If you do enjoy the music in this car.
Yeah.
Other things I want to touch base on is that there is rattles in this car. Subaru is known to have rattles. When I actually first started this car with 10 kilometers, the roof line was rattling, so that still rattles sometimes. Some of the door panels still rattle, which I've now removed the door panels. I've put a lot of foam or different tapes to kind of
Rubber grommets and stuff.
Yeah, to put it down. So that's nothing new. If you are getting a Subaru, I'm sure you already know about it. So that's something that's always an issue the Subaru has. Otherwise, the interior I think is a really nice place to be. The steering wheel is very, very nice. Got the flat bottom, which
Nice
I
shape,
love.
yeah. Nice shape.
And there's plenty of space, right? Like I have my family in this car. I have
Yeah,
the
you're
little
comfy
one.
in this car.
Yeah.
You can go on a road trip in this car,
Oh,
no problem.
easily, right? You
Yeah.
have the 4 doors, throw
Yeah.
stuff in, throw the kid in the back, so there's plenty of room. You still have a very usable trunk. So it's a very, very good practical car, and like the design, it's open. It's a very nice place to be. I will say what I don't like about this interior design is that, or more for like the driving, the seats, you sit really high.
Yeah, but
It's a rally car, right?
yeah. It's different, right?
It is
It's
different,
designed
right?
differently.
So I do prefer
It's
like
not meant to be a track car.
No, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a rally car. But like when you sit in a BMW or an Audi, you do sit a lot lower. You do have a little more like race car feel to it. But that's a con. That's not a make or break deal on this one, right? Otherwise, a lot of STI symbols everywhere. They really want to know that you're
They
in
really
an
want
STI.
you to know you're in an STI.
Yeah, I know. The gauge cluster looks really nice. It's very simple, but it's very, very nice, clean look. You have a digital screen in the middle that gives you some information.
Another one up there. as
Yeah,
well.
another one up there on the top that gives you some information about the boost or how much your fuel economy and things like that. But otherwise, you have the controls, 3 knobs here, big, huge, nice and clicky, feel good. So it's a very simple design. It's not crazy like the other cars are coming on, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just aesthetically, how everything is placed, it looks very nice. It looks very sporty. But overall, I think it's a very nice, simple car to be. I'm going to emphasize simple because you're not getting a lot of crazy features in this car.
No, you're not. You're getting the essentials here. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? Any thoughts?
Nope.
Cool.
I think you pretty much hit it all.
So let's go for a drive. So let's talk about the engine. Same engine for the last 20 some years, and people were getting kind of sick of it because Subaru won't redesign the engine for such a long time. But
Typical Japanese.
yeah,
move,
I
though.
know, really. But
don't fix something that ain't broken.
exactly,
Though, right?
exactly. But I will say that this is a fantastic engine. I love how it revs out. I love the way it sounds, and you have a close ratio like 6-speed transmission, so you're constantly engaged in this car. You have to be very active. You have to keep shifting to make sure you're in the right power range, right, or power band of the car.
The right revs, yeah.
Now this is a more of an old school drive because all the power is past 4,000 RPM, right? You gotta get that turbo spool and then it takes off. Under 4,000, it's kind of slow and it's not dramatic.
It's lethargic.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Absolutely. I will mention about the fuel economy. It's complete crap. I'm getting like 13, 14 liters per 100 kilometers, and I don't drive this car hard. You know that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I don't
You
take
would not. Yeah, you don't drive this car hard.
So it's horrible with gas here in Canada, Vancouver.
$2 a liter today.
Regular.
I saw
This thing takes
for
premium.
regular.
I put $10 in yesterday for
Sucker.
$2.21. I got less than 5 liters.
Oh.
So this is not a very fuel efficient car.
Yeah, this is something you drive on the weekends.
Absolutely.
At that point.
Yeah, but I absolutely love this car, and I want to mention the WRX that I had. I hated that car so much. I don't recommend it. It's such a bad car in my opinion.
Yeah, you don't get what you're really looking for with the
For me
WRX,
personally,
that's the
right?
problem.
I want the old school drive. Like this car feels like this is the last bit. You cannot find this car anymore.
No.
That's
No.
a 2021 that feels like an early 2000 cars. That's done.
maybe in 5-6 years if they do another refresh.
They are doing a refresh of this car, but it's going to be based on the WRX, like the F8 engine, you know, the engine they had in the WRX.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I
yeah,
hated.
yeah.
So that was a 2.0, but now they're making a 2.4 for the STI. So I don't know how it's going to be, but
interesting.
we'll focus on this car here. So let's talk about the transmission. It's such an amazing transmission. It feels so good, very direct, very smooth,
very clicky though too.
Yeah,
which
very
is nice. It's very
yeah.
tactile.
Very tactile. There is a little bit of effort involved. It's not the most like lightest like a Honda, but that's okay.
Yeah, but you kind of want that though, right? So you actually get a feedback response from the car.
Yeah. So it's not the easiest car to learn on.
No.
But once you get used to it, like it's fine. Like I still stall it here and there, which is kind of embarrassing. But
Yeah, I know. What's wrong with you?
yeah. So we're just kind of cruising here, 70 kilometers. Just it's pretty smooth road, but you do feel everything, right?
You do feel all the bumps,
everything,
and diffs and stuff.
There, right? You feel everything, and you do have the 19-inch rims that don't help with the smoothness, right? But you feel everything. It's a very stiff ride stock. Let's give it some gas. See, when you go over 4,000 RPM, then it goes.
Yeah, you can feel it.
It's fun, and it makes nice sounds too. You hear the turbo spool a little bit. The engine obviously gets a bit louder.
It's not an obnoxious car though.
No, but it has
Right.
a lot of characters, a lot of things going on. Like you can hear the mechanicalness of the car. 4,000 RPM, give some gas. So it takes a second.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you're trying to overcome that turbo lag.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes it fun, right? Like
Yeah.
you stomp on it, and then it goes,
Yeah.
right? So it keeps everything, you know, very, very exciting. Now, is it the fastest car around? No, of course not. It has 310 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. So it's nothing outrageous, right?
Still good numbers.
It's still very good numbers.
For an everyday driver,
Yes.
those are great numbers.
But people just focus so much on the numbers, and I'm gonna go a little rant again on this, is that if you want pure numbers, get a Mustang. This is not the car for you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if you want...
Or a Corvette.
Or a Corvette, yeah, right? But if you want a car that does everything really, really, really well, this is the car. You have all-wheel drive. You have decent power. You have a fun power band. I'm gonna say that. It's not the most fastest, but it's a very, when you're revving the car out, that's exciting. That's fun.
And you got to remember too, we live in Canada,
Yeah.
so we still get snow.
Yeah.
You can't drive a Mustang in the snow. I don't know how many Mustangs I've seen parked on the side of
Yeah,
the road
exactly.
sideways when
Yeah,
there's snow.
or even when
because it's rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, good point. Even when it's raining,
Yeah.
you're still spinning
They
out.
kick out.
Where
I've seen
this thing
that
just
too.
takes off,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
when you look at the whole package of this car, it's fantastic. And you know, for this price range, I don't know what else is there. This is
There's
really
not
its
much
own.
else. No.
This is very unique. It's an amazing car if you want an all-arounder. If you want raw power, yeah, go for the Corvette or Mustang.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you got the wrong car if you want that. A couple things to point out too, and Andre, you're going to jump in this car in a second, is that the 2019 and Plus have got the R8 engine. So what that basically means is that you get 5 more horsepower. They say they tune the engine better to have more mid-range. They did change some, I believe, the internals. The pistons are apparently a different material that are stronger, so they can hold more
so
power
like
when you
titanium or drop forged or whatever.
I'm not. It's just whatever combination they did. They made it stronger. The mid pipe in the car is a bit wider, so all that combined, you only get 5 horsepower. That's not the big picture. Apparently, the tire bands, the power band's a little higher. And when you see some of the dyno results that people have been getting, it is like, you know, 10, 15 horsepower across, or like more the mid-range that's higher. So it is a more powerful car with that tune. So what's your initial impressions of this car?
Very comfy to drive. Very nice seating arrangement, seating position. Does the steering wheel...
It goes up and down.
Oh, okay, it does. That's good.
Yeah.
I love this steering wheel.
So you're a little shorter than me, or a lot shorter than me. You're like, what, 5'2"?
I just pushed the seat forward and I'm fine.
But you're 5'2", 5'1", 4'9"?
I would... Fuck, come on! I'm not that short.
So how does it feel?
I'm 5'6".
So how does it feel for your height in this car? Like, do you feel sporty or do you still feel high?
I feel a little high in comparison to
still.
my car, but still a good height. I'm not super high. It's not that bumpy. The car's it's not that rough.
No?
No. I've definitely ridden worse.
I mean, it's not, yeah, there's definitely more. I mean, like for me, and my wife, after my wife doesn't complain, like we don't complain about the car. It is stiffer, but I don't think it's unbearable
No, definitely not. I think this is actually a good compromise.
for what it is, right? I mean,
For what it is, yeah.
This is a sporty car. Not loud or notches, but you do hear all the small little.
You get enough of everything you want.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about Subarus, and especially Japanese cars, is there's a huge aftermarket. So you can tweak things very easily and at a really affordable price, which you can't do that with a Beamer. You can't do that with a Mercedes. You can't do that even with a Volkswagen. You can't do that.
No, because remember, there's like, and you could buy used parts, like used aftermarket parts, still in good condition.
Still in good
Save
condition,
tons of
yeah.
money because this engine's been around for so long.
Or new old stock.
Yeah, exactly.
You can try out a car and it looks beautiful, but you sit in it and you drive it and it's not what you want. But you sit in this car and you drive it and it feels like it looks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when you think about a Subaru WRX or Subaru STI, this is what it should feel like. This is what you're supposed to get. You wouldn't have got this with the WRX.
And I didn't. That's what got rid of it.
So that's why it's a little bit depressing.
Yeah.
But this, you sit in it, you rev it, you drive it, and you feel it. You actually feel what you're getting.
Yeah.
Someone may question this car whether or not they want it, but once you get in it, you drive it, then that goes away because it's a different experience than what most people would be used to feeling with like a BMW or something else.
Very different car.
Even Mazdas, you get a little bit of this,
yes.
Not to the same extent though with the MX-5 or the Miata.
Give it. Keep going. See it going. See the difference now?
Yeah, you can definitely feel it.
And that was going uphill too.
Yeah, it's going uphill.
Right? It's actually a different experience seeing as a passenger. You feel it more. Yeah, especially when you're not expecting it.
You know what though? This car also feels really comfortable up there.
Yeah, it was, right?
And some cars, you rev them up there and they don't sound right, they don't feel right. So that's also something that's nice to notice. Steering's nice and tight.
Yeah.
It's responsive. Like you actually feel like you're connected to something. Is this hydraulic?
It's hydraulic. That's why you feel. Yeah.
That's why.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Still hydraulic.
The Beamers have all that electronic shit now. And
yes.
Transmission, I love it. I love this transmission. It's clicky. That's the best. That's the thing I like the most actually about it, is that it's clicky. You can feel it click into gear. So when you put it into gear, you know you're in gear. And it almost clicks twice or something.
Yeah, it has it too, like bam,
click,
bam,
click.
Bam, bam, right?
Feels like a knuckle, like you're cracking knuckles almost.
Yeah.
You know that feeling when you crack your knuckles?
That's what
it actually feels like. Feels like you're cracking knuckles, which is really nice. It's very tactile. The engine's really nice, very responsive. It gives you enough power, especially. You gotta remember, guys. Everybody's driving in the city, right, or on the highway. You don't need tons of power when you're in the city or on the highway. Besides, it's just gonna cost you more on tickets, right? So, right? But I think this checks all the boxes, right? At the end of the day, and you get tons of you can do tons of customizations to this car.
Yeah, if you want 800 horsepower, you can put it in.
That's another thing too. So if you're one of those guys who's used to driving cars, 500 plus horsepower, you could do that with this thing
easily. No problem.
There's
nice. A list. Here's a list.
Yeah.
This is what you buy, install it, tune it, and there you go.
That's one of the redeeming things about Japanese cars, is that sky's the limit with those things, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess my final thoughts on this car is that, one, you can't get this car anymore. It's done, right? I will say, and why I'm focusing on that is not what I mean when it's done. I mean this style, the feedback, the analogness of the mechanical feel. That's all gone now, right? This 2021 was the last of this car, and driving this car around, how I feel, I love being so engaged with this car. I love how the power is high up, which some people might find annoying, but some people might, I guess most people prefer in the middle because that's where the RPM usually is. But I like to drop a gear and then get the RPM, then go. I mean, that's just my style, what I like.
Yeah.
I love the transmission feel, the steering, everything combined. You have 4 doors. I mean, I could throw the family in here. There's tiny room in the trunk. Like, overall, like I keep saying that, but it's true.
It's a bit of a unicorn.
Yeah, it's a unicorn.
It's very
is.
unique.
Yeah.
This specific car is very unique for what you get, for what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can ignore the gas mileage on this car,
you don't get performance without burning fuel.
Yeah, exactly, right? I think, in my opinion, I'm in love with this car. I'm gonna keep it for a long time. It's sum it up. It's just a fantastic car to have.
Yeah,
and you're
definitely.
lucky if you have this car.
Yeah,
so I'll leave it at that. Well, I hope you enjoy driving my car, dude. Never again.
We should do this more often.
No, we shouldn't. All right, guys. We'll catch you next one. Take care. Bye-bye.